Welcome. In this video, we are going to discuss about templates that we can use when we're building our Quarto website. So at this point, and from the previous videos, we've got a website that we're calling demo site. It's in demo site directory, and it has a couple of basic pages on it, and we've played around with customizing the themes and the fonts and things like that. So what I want to talk about in this video is about templates, which are used to create nice, snazzy looking landing spots for people to learn about you on your website. And so Quarto documents are really made for constructing technical writing and not for web development. So for example, I created a stat book, and that stat book is technical writing. So we've got some text, which is explaining things. We've got code, and then we've got output of the code, including plots and so on. So it's great at producing documents like this, but this is a different tool than creating a website. So in this video, we're going to talk about how we can use about templates to move away from the technical writing and just to build a nice landing spot on your website. So Quarto has 5 built-in templates that you can go to this page. I'll go over there now to check them out. So these are up here. So here is the Hoya template. And so you can see it's going to create a nice landing spot where you've got a figure about yourself or a picture, and then you have some text, and then you can add some links to your social media or GitHub and things like that. There is a Trestles theme, there's a Solana theme, there's a marquee theme, and there is a broadside theme. So these are 5 available themes that you can use with an about template. So we'll use the Hoya template when we build ours. Each template allows us to add some elements. So first we can add an image like you saw in the templates on the about page documentation. And that image has 2 things that you can customize. You can customize the width of the image, which is going to resize it, and you can customize the shape if you're using some of the templates that's available. So for the Hoya, Solano, and Trestles templates, we can change the shape to rectangular, round, or rounded. We can add links like you saw over here below. This is going to Twitter. This one's going to GitHub. So we can add links to our about page, and the links have the following options. We need to enter an address for where the web page is, so that's href, and then we would enter the link to the page. Optional, we can add a text argument, and this is the text that's going to be displayed. So that will display as opposed to the actual address of the link. You can set the icon, and let me open this up over here, and you can see these are all of the icons that are available for the different buttons. There's tons of them. Sorry, scrolling through. Let's get to the bottom. So you can see how many there are. There's lots. And they're pretty useful looking shapes. So there's a Yelp one if you were a business, there's a YouTube one, there's an Xbox one, and so on. So there's tons of icons to choose from. And there's also an ARIA label, which I did not find much documentation on what that actually does. So I am not going to play around with that in this video. And then we're going to discuss partial page content. So partial page content is text on your page that doesn't have the same formatting as the rest of the template. And so let's say I'm making an about page and I want to highlight something, say technical, or something that I don't want to format using the formatting of the about page. Then I can add some unformatted stuff to the website by doing the following. I'm going to type 3 colons, and then inside a set of curly braces, I enter a hashtag followed by ID and a hyphen, and then I enter a name that I'm going to specify in the header YAML of the file where I am adding the about template. So we will walk through examples of how we can add partial page content. If this is a little bit confusing at the moment, it helps just to see an example. And then we would end the partial page content with three colons. So it begins with three colons and the curly braces, we enter the ID that we specify in the header of our file, and then we end it with three colons. And so we're going to go and set up an about template. We'll do that in the next video. But rather than use the about page, there was an about.qmd file. So the default in Quarto websites is that the landing page, the home page is not the about page. So on the home page, you could put some technical stuff and then have a link to go to the about page where people learn about you. I like to have a landing page, let's say, that just talks about me generally. So I'd like to have the home page be an about page, and then have my other pages possibly have some technical writing. So that's the way that we're going to do it. So I'm going to mess around with our index Quarto document. I'm not going to even use the about Quarto file, and we're going to add some stuff to the YAML of our index file to create a about template for on that page. So in order to do so, we're going to add some figures and some links to our page. So let's say we're going to add a picture. So this is a picture that's going to be my main picture. Here, I'm just going to add a separate image just to see how we can add other content to that page. And then here is a kind of sample resume that we're going to add to the page as well. So you need to have all three of these files in the main directory of your project. And so right now, let me go over to my project. Here we are in our studio, and I don't have those files in here. So I want those files to be in my demo site. If you are working in Posit Cloud, I already added those files there. So you should have access to them, I think. But if I didn't, you can follow the same process to add those files to your Posit Cloud project. So let me go over into GitHub where those files are located. And I'm going to click on this link to get into the GitHub repo for our class. And here I am in the images page. Let me open that up on a separate tab. And inside the images directory, we have those three files. So here is the dogs file. And I'm going to download this file by clicking this download button over here. And then I'm going to download it into the same directory where we have our demo site. So here's my demo site directory. I'm going to add the dogs document. I'm going to save that. And if you want to add the extension on that, you can do that as well. So this was called dogs.png. I'm going to add a picture of myself, presumably. So here's going to be my picture. I'm going to go with a Homer Simpson picture. I'm going to download my pic into this. So I'm going to call this my pic.png. And then lastly, I'm going to go and download the resume that we're going to add to our about page. So these are three files that I'm adding. This is resume PDF, all in my main folder. So now when I come over here, you can see those files, dogs, my pic, resume, have all been added, and they're all added in the demo site directory in my main directory. So hopefully you're at that point where you were able to just add these three images or files to the main directory, and you've got a sense of what an about template is. In the next video, we're going to create one for our website.